If you're about to set up one of these businesses in France, beautiful bed and breakfast, gorgeous gallery, charming chateau, that's all very exciting, right? But it's also a big investment. You're going to have renovations to do, you're going to have furniture to buy, you're going to have equipment to invest in. It's a lot of money out. And at this point, if you decide to run your business as a micro, then that could be the single biggest financial mistake you ever make. It could take you years and years to recover from it. If you haven't been here before, my name is Lisa. I gained a French accountancy qualification about 20 years ago. And although I have worked in accounting, I now work purely in business consulting. And of course, you'll find all of my contacts in the description. Let's imagine that you have to put 50,000 into the startup of your business. And let's imagine that in your first year, your business takes 30,000 euros. Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations. However, the system does not care that you just made a 50,000 euro hole in your bank account. It's going to start charging you social charges and maybe income tax straight away on this 30,000 euros, while you are still 20,000 euros in the red. In fact, more than 20,000 euros in the red, because you've also had your electricity, your water, your heating, your marketing, all of the things that go along with running a business, as well as your social charges and your tax. So way more than 20,000 euros in the red. If you happen to need this money back at any point, you can't access it because it's blocked. It's blocked in your Egyptian cotton sheets and your brand new coffee machine. So the only way for you to get your hands on that money is to sell your business. And this comes along with a couple of huge risks, as we know. First of all, it may not sell straight away. You could be waiting a long time. But property in France does not, as you will know, go up in value at the same rate that it maybe does in other countries that we're used to. So you may not get that money back again. Plus, a lot of the stuff that you have invested in is actually going down in value. If you have to sell your new sheets and your new coffee machine and everything else that you've bought to go along with your new business, you would never get the same price back that you actually put into it. That stuff is going down in value all the time. So what can you do about it? Well, obviously the ideal situation, the best thing you could do would be to get a business loan. But if you're new to France, or certainly if you're new to French business, then you'll probably find that French banks are not queuing up to lend you money. So the next best thing that you can do is to effectively become the bank yourself. How do you do this? You need to set up a separate limited company for your business. At this point, you have created a whole new entity and you personally are going to lend the money to this new entity. What does that mean? It means it creates an obligation for this entity to pay you back. And the best thing about this is that when your business does pay you back, you take that money with no social charges and no income tax, because this is not revenue. This is just the reimbursement of a loan. You can even charge interest on that loan if you want to, in exactly the same way that the bank would. But do be aware that if you charge interest, then you'll have to pay tax on that interest. Now at this point, once your business starts to earn money, instead of paying social charges and tax on all of it, you can simply transfer that money from your professional account to your personal account. And in that first year or two, you can either not pay yourself any salary at all, you can simply live off the reimbursement of that loan, or depending on your personal circumstances, then it may be much better for you to pay yourself a small salary and to top that up with a partial reimbursement of the loan. So that way you limit your social charges and your tax, and you still have enough money to live off. Is it more complicated to set up and run a limited company than it is to set up and run a micro? Yes, it is. Is it worth doing? It's absolutely worth doing. Can you start off as a micro and then move to a limited company later on? Yes, you can do that. I have helped several people to do that. However, you will procrastinate for a long time before you get around to doing it. All that time you're procrastinating, the value of your stuff that you have bought, that you've invested in, is going down, and the value that you can sell it for is decreasing all the time. So if you are serious about running this kind of business in France, if you really want to make a living out of it, then take the professional decision, make the sensible decision, make the most appropriate decision, and choose a limited company structure right from the jump. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.